Alright, so I wanted to make a video for new YouTube channels and creators on why you shouldn't share your YouTube channel with anybody when you're first starting out. And this is counterintuitive, I know, because when you're starting out, you have this urge to want to share everything you're doing with the world to gain traction, to get growth on YouTube. But I want to give you some ideas and my point of view in this video on why that's actually harming your growth on the channel and what to do instead. Okay, so you've probably started a new channel. You've got 0 subscribers, maybe a couple of videos on there that are getting a handful of views. The initial action you want to take is to share that video with as many people as possible to get as many views as possible, to get as many subscribers as possible. You've probably tried it before, asking people to like, comment, subscribe on your video. This is very counterintuitive. It gets even more counterintuitive when you ask those closest to you to go and check out your videos. So say for example this YouTube channel here. I've just started it, sharing all my knowledge and experience about growing YouTube channels. If I go and tell close family members and friends about this channel just with the goal to get them to come and watch my video, so it shows YouTube that this video is good and it's getting more views and more watch time and more subscribers, this is actually harming your channel. The people like your parents, I know my parents and my family are not interested in YouTube in the slightest. They're not interested in wanting to start a channel or anything like that. So what this actually does is it actually skews YouTube's data and gives you incorrect or almost fake views. I don't blame them because this is what feels like the easiest way to get traction and visibility on your channel in the beginning. I've done it, but now from the experience I've had of growing successful channels like this one, this has over 200,000 subscribers on now. From what I've learned growing that channel and other channels, that isn't the best way to go about growing your channel in the beginning. So let's break down 2 parts to this and why it doesn't work. The first part, YouTube's algorithm. So let's look at and explain how I believe YouTube's algorithm actually works. So you put a video out onto YouTube. In the beginning, if you've got no subscribers, no views, no traction, no history on your channel, so YouTube doesn't know who you are or what you share, YouTube is literally going out and trying to put your video in front of many different people. It's trying to figure out what your channel is, what you're creating content on. And it's trying to find an audience that will fit that channel. And it's going out and trying different pockets of people. And then once it finds a pocket of people to put your video in front of that engage your video, like it, and will watch more of it, it will then double down on that and try and show it to more of those types of people. You've got to remember, YouTube is never against the creator. You hear a lot of people say that, oh, the algorithms doesn't like me, I've been shadow banned. It's not showing my videos to the right people. Like, no, you're not creating good enough content. That's why your videos aren't being shared to the right people. So with that said, if you're putting a video on the internet and then asking all your close friends and family to go and like, comment, subscribe, watch the video, but they aren't your target audience, I believe it's actually skewing the data from YouTube. And it's actually going to take you longer to grow a channel doing this than if you do it a different way. So what would I do instead? What I would do is focus on the packaging of your video. In fact, before I get to that, let's just talk quickly about external traffic. So sending traffic from other places to YouTube is also not too beneficial in the beginning, I don't believe. YouTube is like a search engine. So like I said, it's always going out trying to find different people to watch your videos on YouTube and on Google. If you're sending traffic from Facebook, from Instagram, it's also hard for it to track where these sources are coming from. So it's actually not doing your channel any harm, which is why I say in the beginning, just stay quiet about your channel. There's no need to share with the world unless you feel obliged to what you're doing. What should you do instead? You should focus on the packaging of your videos. And the packaging is how you deliver your video. So you've got your actual video and the packaging is the title and thumbnail. Those 2 things are critical to your initial growth, and they're critical to the growth of your channel anyway, in whatever size your channel is. The title and thumbnail are the thing that gets people to click on your video and watch your video. If they don't click, they don't watch. So you could put in hours and hours and hours and hours, days and weeks into the editing of your video, but if nobody clicks it to start with, none of that matters. We need a clickable thumbnail and we need a title that catches your attention. And the thumbnail and the title work together to create that click. Now I'll give you just some couple of tips on thumbnails. Thumbnails should be very simple. They should have no more than 3 points of contact with the eye to keep things simple and engaging. And I would try and explain what you're talking about in your video, in your thumbnail. And this is kind of like an art and a science, because a lot of people will overcomplicate thumbnails, try and cram it with too much information, try and put too much text on there, to try and convince people to watch your video. You shouldn't do that, right? You should look at what's already in YouTube, on YouTube. What are you competing against? What are the search terms that people are likely to search that your video will come up for? And then look at those video topics and thumbnails and see what you're competing against. Now, you may want to go the complete opposite direction to make yourself stand out. You may find that most people in your niche are creating really in-your-face thumbnails. Well, how can you go the opposite direction? If people are putting loads of effort into thumbnails, what about you do the opposite and put very little effort into your thumbnails? What effect would that have? Same goes for titles. What sort of keywords and key phrases need to be in your title for YouTube to recognize, okay, this video is on the topic of growing a YouTube channel. This topic is on knitting. This topic is on mountain biking. You need to have search terms in your description and your title to help YouTube decide where it's going to try and test an audience for your video. We have to remember that YouTube has been a thing now for like 10 plus years, I believe. Over those years, the algorithm has got more advanced and clever. So it knows the audience very well and it understands what people want, and it's always learning. You should never be left trying to decipher an algorithm. And if I were you, if I'm struggling, or if you're struggling with feeling like the algorithm is against you in some sort of way, replace the word algorithm with audience. So instead of saying the algorithm didn't like my video, replace the audience. My audience didn't like this video, or my audience didn't resonate with this video. That's what I would always do. The algorithm wants you to succeed. YouTube wants you to win. If you get more views, that means YouTube can put more ads on your videos, and then YouTube makes more money, and also you have the potential to make more money if you're monetized. It's in their best interest to make your video succeed and put it in front of the right people. But YouTube needs you to put the foundational work in, which starts with the idea and the packaging of your video. It doesn't mean you need to go and share your video with friends and family in the hope that it gets that initial traction and validation for you, which is quite a selfish thing, to then say, okay, these types of people have watched this video, let's go and try it in front of more mum and dads or sisters that are like them. And then they find that, okay, those people aren't that interested in it, which then kind of like may lead to YouTube not showing it to the right people and your impressions dropping off and the video's not getting the views it needs to grow. Another thing here is that consistency is key. So a lot of you will post on YouTube to start with as a small channel with no subscribers. Because you don't get instant gratification through subscribers or views, you'll start to believe that YouTube isn't for you, and you'll start to think that, damn, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I should give up and do something different. One thing I've learned from growing this channel and others is that consistency above everything trumps all this stuff about algorithms, upload time, catchy titles, thumbnails, all this stuff. All that stuff is useful and goes hand in hand with growing a channel. Consistency will trump everything. YouTube growth is not an overnight thing. It is a long-term thing that you should be in for the long haul. And once you understand your audience, once you understand what types of content you create, and then YouTube also understands that, then it will show it to the right people and your channel will begin to grow. I hope that was useful. There are some more videos up here which YouTube will recommend you check out next. It's very clever, you should go and do that. And I'll leave links in the description below to more YouTube advice from me. I'll see you in the next video.